Today we have some incredibly awesome breaking news. Andrade has joined AEW and he's been paired with Vickie Guerrero. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment because that was definitely surprising. But first, if you guys didn't know, this is Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Zango and this is a YouTube channel where I bring you guys my opinions on the latest news and rumors happening in the world of wrestling. So yeah, Andrade showed up to AEW, no entrance music, and he was accompanied by Vickie Guerrero. That's pretty damn sweet. And here's why. We all know that cutting promos isn't necessarily the strong suit for Andrade. In fact, that's largely the reason why he was paired with Zelina Vega in WWE. And look, here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of people talking about AEW signing former WWE guys. And quite honestly, if it makes sense, it makes sense and you have to do it. See, the thing about Andrade going to AEW is not necessarily that Andrade is going to have a better or bigger career in AEW. I mean, as it stands, the AEW roster is pretty damn stacked as it is. But what I think we're going to see with Andrade in AEW is very similar to what we saw in WWE. The only difference I expect is that Andrade can potentially hold the world championship in AEW at some point, whereas in WWE, we never really got to see that. See, Andrade actually got a lot of love in WWE, and some of you guys might not actually agree with this, but he was on TV quite often, and not everybody could be a world champion. Especially with WWE's roster, it's really hard to stand out considering all of these different factors. And, you know, here's the thing about Andrade. Andrade wanted his release because he wants to wrestle. He wants to be doing something important. And I think that's where his opportunity with AEW will really shine. I think pairing him with Vickie Guerrero was definitely surprising and shocking, but at the end of the day, I think it's what makes the most sense. He can't do it on his own. He's going to need some help to get him truthfully over with the crowd. And I think I was even a little bit more shocked to see that the crowd wasn't too thrilled to see him there. I don't know. It was a really weird thing. The crowd reaction was slightly weird to me, but I think long term, AEW has a lot of potential here with Andrade. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is where I have to give AEW a little bit of flack. I know these wins and losses matter. I know the records matter, but this is a pretty big signing. He should be getting a pretty big push right off the get-go. And that is how AEW could be successful here. Ultimately, AEW needs to position Andrade as a top-level guy. And let's not have him talk. Have Vickie Guerrero talk. And have Vickie Guerrero do what she does best. Annoy the fans. Because that right there is going to get Andrade over as a heel. And the cool thing is, at some point, if you want to make Andrade a top-level babyface, I actually think it is possible. I said this before when he was in WWE. I think he can deliver a really good babyface run if he's given the ball to run with. And in WWE, you guys know how that whole thing goes. Typically, the babyfaces don't get love at all, and the booking of a babyface kind of, it's redundant, it's pretty shitty, and so forth. But nonetheless, I'm actually really excited to see him in AEW. I want to see what they're going to do with him in AEW, and I'm all for it. I hope AEW is very cautious about what they're spending because obviously there's a lot of people they could be signing right now. I don't want to see them get into an issue like WCW had when they're overpaying people. But of course, with, you know, Andrade obviously having a storyline with Kenny Omega right now, like it's perfect. It's beautiful. There's a lot of things that could be done and I'm all for it. And I want to see it happen. And I'm excited about it. I'm not going to sit here and talk negatively about AEW. If they fail to do anything with Andrade, it is 100% on the hands of AEW and not Andrade. Because clearly the guy knows how to wrestle. He knows how to look the part. He can be the part. But will they give him the ball? And that's where the wins and losses kind of pissed me off a little bit. Because I understand why it's there. But at some point, you just kind of have to ignore it. And you got to get this guy to the top as quick as possible and make it must-see television. But yeah, we know Andrade is with AEW. He is literally going to be a big asset to this company, and I'm all for it. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This is Destination Pro Wrestling, Discord, channel memberships, website, all that good stuff in the description down below, and I'll see you next time.